What's your style?
Developed by Blizzard Entertainment, initially released in the year 1994 on the SNES and MS-DOS computers. 9 years later, in the year 2003, we get a GBA port. Blackthorne is basically labelled a cinematic platformer, as emphasis is on exploration more than action. We climb, jump, take cover, shoot bad guys and explore stages to find items to access previously inaccessible areas. The story begins with the bad guy Sarlacc, who takes over the planet Tool, successfully destroying a kingdom with its king. Our protagonist Carl Blackthorne, the king's son, escapes death, being teleported to Earth. 20 years later, Carl, now a man, heads back out to Tool to avenge his father and to rescue his people, and the game begins. What I like about this game: using rotoscoping techniques for animation, we get lifelike fluid movements. Thrown in with some cinematic cutscenes, we get a graphically impressive game. The dark and moody colours sets the picture for a place of torment and torture. The visual style is certainly uncommon on the GBA. The combat mechanics feels fresh. We have a duck and cover system on a 2D plane. Pressing up on the D-pad allows for the player to hide in the shadows, making for time-based gun shootouts with enemies. There are in total 4 worlds, each having 4 stages, plus a final boss stage, resulting to plenty of hours of gameplay for a handheld adventure. There is also the convenient autosave feature between stages, so unlike the SNES version of the game, we don't have to remember passwords. Further to what I like about Blackthorne, the stages feel like mazes, forcing the player to thoroughly explore the stage and to revisit previously inaccessible areas with new tools to progress further. Tools such as wasp bombs, mini levitators, bridge keys and iron keys. These items get reused throughout the game, but the mechanic works well. Scattered across the stages are these prisoners. When you talk to them, they say things like "Curse Sarlacc." Some of their phrases made me laugh. They do talk nonsense, but what gives an incentive to talk to these long-haired chaps is that some of the prisoners give you weapon upgrades and extend health capacity. Now, what I didn't like about the game. Gameplay feels clunky as we move on what feels like a grid-based system. Control is stiff and feels unresponsive, making it difficult to succeed in challenging situations. One major issue I had was with running and jumping between platforms. Often I kept on dying due to mistimed jumps, which meant constantly seeing the game over screen. There are 6 enemies that get reused throughout the entire game, and that's including a plant. There is certainly a lack of variety. The enemies called Andromedocs have pistols. They would shoot randomly from 2 to 6 shots, making it difficult to read their attacks. And it didn't help that the speed of their projectiles were faster than Kyle's. With only one boss battle in the game, Sarlacc, I was disappointed that he wasn't much of a challenge. I defeated the boss standing in one position. To conclude, I feel quite mixed about Blackthorne. I can see why it's labelled a cinematic platformer, as it looks good, but sadly focus isn't on gameplay. We have good level design, thrown in with great duck and cover combat mechanics. Sadly, this feature suffers due to poor thought out enemy AI with a lack of variety. Blackthorne is free to download on battle.net, Blizzard's official site, so give it a download, and if you like it, maybe give the GBA game a purchase. Anyways guys, as always, it's been a pleasure, and I want to thank you for watching my channel. Peace.